Alright, so today I'm going to go ahead and do an overview of this Tesla head unit. I'm going to go ahead and cover pretty much almost everything that's on this unit except for the setting menu. So right now I'm going to go ahead and start my car. This install is actually in a 2006 Lexus GS 300. This will also work on any 3rd gen GS, so the GS 350, 430, 460, 450H. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and start the car up. That way you can see the boot up time. Like I said on the forums, it's about 25 seconds long. So I'll go ahead and start it up. Alright, vehicle started up. It's on the boot screen now. You probably heard that startup music. That's actually from my dash cam. It's a little cold in here. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the AC. The thing is, while this thing's booting up, you cannot control any of the AC function except for turning off the HVAC system. Alright, so it's booted up. First thing you'll see is actually this home screen right here that has the clock, this G meter thing, whatever it is. And on this particular unit, I have it set up to where Google Map will actually launch after it finished booting up. So this right here is Google Map. I do have my cell phone connected right now, so I have a application on my phone. I have an Android phone called Tasker, which will enable wireless hotspot, wireless Wi-Fi hotspot. So what that means is that this system will actually connect to the Wi-Fi internet that's on my phone, along with Bluetooth. For that reason, looks like I have a phone call, but I'm not going to answer that right now. So I'll press hang up. I'm going to, yeah, just don't call that number. Where was that? Wireless hotspot. Google Maps, any of the apps that you download like Pandora streaming, Spotify, YouTube, and so on will rely on data connection. So it's best to have that connected through a Wi-Fi hotspot. That way you get a more stronger, stable connection. Alright, so what I'm going to do first is actually I'm going to go ahead and show you the backup camera. So I'm going to go ahead and put the car into reverse. And there it is. That's your backup camera. Depending on what camera you get for the backup camera, the quality can be good. It could be bad. It could be very bright. It could be dark. It could be so on and so on. You will probably see that I have two backup lane grids. One is actually from the stock unit itself, and the other one, the smaller one, is actually from the backup camera itself. You can turn off either one. If you want to turn off this this solid yellow line right there, it's actually done through the setting that's on the screen. If you want to turn off this smaller one, you actually have to trim a snippet wire that's on the backup camera itself. So I'm going to go ahead and put it back into park. It's not dynamic, so the lines will stay stationary. There's probably cameras that's out there that will do dynamic lines where you actually turn the wheels and the lines will turn, showing where you're parking. But I don't have that. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and explain all these buttons on the side, bottom, and on the screen. Right here you do have a microphone. This unit will not link up to the OEM microphone that's on the ceiling. Call quality, hit or miss. It depends on the area that you're driving and the cell towers. This power button right here, you actually have two power buttons. You have one right here and one right here. All that does is it actually just mutes the volume of your source. So if you click on that and look down here, you'll actually see it's mute. It's on mute. Click it again, it'll unmute the system. Home button, you actually have two home buttons. You have a lot of redundancy here, redundant buttons. If you push this or this right here, it'll just go back to the home screen. back button, depending on what page you're on or what screen you're on. Let's go back to navigation. It will take you back to the previous screen. And then you got your fan speed settings that will adjust the airflow. You'll actually see a change down here. Alright. Go ahead and turn that off. AC, actually let me go ahead and turn that back on. This AC button right here is the same AC button down here. It just toggles the AC mode on or off. You'll see it right here. Same thing with off that you have down here. It'll just turn the HVAC system on or off. Or it just turns it off. It doesn't turn it on. You'll just have to use the fan speed button to turn it on. Inside, outside air, front defroster, rear defroster. Alright, down here you have your hazard button, hazard light button, passenger seatbelt warning light, and the security light. Alright. This back button right here is the same as this back button right here. I'm going to go ahead and tap on the screen right here. This will bring up the AC interface so you can actually change your temperature, turn on dual mode for both driver and passenger side, turn on the AC, turn off the AC, select different modes. You'll see a change on this graphical interface. Inside, outside air, front, rear defroster, pollen filtration system. You can also adjust the fan speed from in here. Also on this system, you actually have the actual temperature reading. On the older system, or the system that first came out, the 10.2 inch, I believe it only shows high or low. This one you actually see an actual temperature. You'll actually notice down here that the on-screen display will fluctuate between Celsius and Fahrenheit. I don't know how to get that to read just Fahrenheit, but if you do, let me know. But it doesn't bother me. So right here, top navigation menu right here, you do have your navigation button. Just brings up navigation. You can actually set this button to open up waves if you want, or whatever navigation that you prefer. Radio just brings up the radio screen, so you can preset your favorites here. You can tune to different stations using these buttons right here, and then you have your AM FM source right there. Equalizer, push this button, he'll bring up the equalizer and the balance and fader. You can toggle between stereo mode, and this right here you can toggle between DX and local. I don't remember what that does. I don't use the radio often. Music, this will stream whatever music is built in onto the unit. You can also do Bluetooth streaming, or you could also browse through the files. Actually, that's not right. I'll click on music again. So you can browse through your USB stick, SD card. I don't see an SD card slot on this unit, and onboard storage. USB, I'm still trying to get that to work. I think I have a USB stick that's too big. I have a 64 gig USB stick. It's probably not supported by this. I'll have to use a smaller, maybe a 16 or 32 gig USB flash drive. Console, MPG readings, or your instantaneous fuel readings, historical fuel readings, and this amp information. Not 100% sure what this is. I guess it just does something with the amp. I don't know. It's adjustable, so I'll have to play with that some more. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the AC because it's actually getting cold in here. Bluetooth. That's the same screen as your Bluetooth audio or your Bluetooth phone. You'll actually see that my phone is connected, so you can actually make phone calls from in here. Look at your recent phone calls. phone book. You can change your PIN settings, have it auto answer, or you can connect another Bluetooth device. But for this button to work, you actually have to disconnect your phone. Movies, pretty much self-explanatory. You can actually watch movies on this screen. Right now, what's preloaded is Fast and the Furious. I don't have an actual movie on here. You can also browse your storage device as well. Some of these buttons are really small, so I often hit the wrong button most of the time. Auxiliary, you can hook up a DVD player if you wanted to, or any source like a game console. As long as it has an RGB, not an RGB, I'm not talking about LED lights here, but like a yellow, red, white connector. I forgot what you call that now. Oh my gosh. But as long as they have those connectors, you can plug it into the system. There is a video harness on here that has a video input and auxiliary audio input as well. I'm going to go ahead and swipe this to go to the next page or next set of tabs. Explorer, that will just bring up the built-in web browser, so you can actually browse the internet, provided that you have Wi-Fi hotspot. Phone link, it's kind of like Mirror Play and Apple Play, CarPlay, Android USB, Android Wi-Fi, and iPhone Wi-Fi. What it does is just mirrors whatever's on your phone onto the screen. I'm not sure why you want to do that, because you have pretty much everything up here already, but I guess if you want to see your phone on the screen, you can do that. Settings, like I said, I'm not going to go ahead and explain settings. You can set your default map. This one's a little tricky. You do have to double tap on whatever map you want to use and click OK. GPS just shows GPS status. You can change date, time, you can change language, you can adjust the equalizer from here if you wanted to. Backlight, the auto dim feature, it's not really noticeable. Right now my headlights are on, but if I turn it off, there it is. It went to full brightness. But if I turn it back on, my headlights back on, it dims it to this much, and it's still bright. System settings, this is where you can fine-tune different settings. The guideline, like I was saying about on the backup camera, you can turn it off if you wanted to. Just click the back button to save. What else was under settings? Steering wheel settings, advanced settings. The PIN number will be in the paperwork that you get with the unit, and radio zone settings. So if you're not in the US, you can turn on Europe, South America, Russia, Japan, and so forth. Under more settings, that's the stock Android settings, so you can connect to a Wi-Fi system, to your Wi-Fi hotspot if you needed to limit the amount of data that you want this unit to use. You can change a whole bunch of settings, add accounts if you wanted to, and so forth. App settings. Let me go ahead and expand this real quick by pressing this button right there. You can download pretty much any app that is optimized for this tablet from the Google Play Store. So right now I have Amazon Music, I have my Gmail account, I have Google Play, I have Prime Video if I want to watch the Grand Tour on here, I have YouTube if I want to stream a video while I'm parked, not driving, and I have Yelp. Since I'm a foodie, I love to find new restaurants around this area, so I help Yelp on here. TPMS, I'm not too concerned about. You do need to have an aftermarket system for that. It does not work with the factory unit, and I'll get to that screen later. DVR, I'm not 100% sure what that is. I'm assuming it's a video recorder, so if you have like a front-facing camera and a driver in front of you is, I don't know, aggravating you or something, you probably record that. Files will bring up File Explorer so you can see what's on this tablet, or you can see what's on a USB stick if you have it plugged in, or any devices that you have plugged in. Well, not any devices, but any storage devices. TPMS, this is a screen right here. Like I said, you do need to have an aftermarket unit to pair to this screen right here. It does not work with the factory unit. When I say aftermarket, I mean it's one of those kits that they have a sensor in these valve stem caps that you screw onto the factory valve stems. May be nice, but it's too bulky for the rims I have. So that pretty much sums up everything on this tab right here. So I'm gonna go back to this app list right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull up one of these apps right here, like Pandora. And I prefer to use the Pandora app because it's actually pretty to look at instead of just the Bluetooth tab. Basically, you get more information. Maybe you get lyrics. I don't know, but I prefer this streaming over Wi-Fi instead of Bluetooth audio because it's not compressed. Wi-Fi will not. Well, it'll do a little bit of compression, but it's not going to do a lot of compression like Bluetooth audio or Bluetooth streaming. Also, if you're going to watch a movie, let's say something on YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and launch that app real quick. Alright, so let's find something that has some motion in it that's moving. I don't want anything stationary right now. Why isn't there anything on my YouTube? There was a whole bunch. Let's look at this dash cam. Not this dash cam, this action camera that I just purchased. And I'm actually filming on it right now. I'll go ahead and turn up the volume. And you notice that the streaming quality is pretty good. Right now it's defaulting to 480p, but you can always change that to 1080p if you want it to. So the quality actually is set to 360, but I guess this video is not in 1080, so 720p. You can make it full screen if you wanted to. If you want to get out of full screen, just press the back button. If you want to pause it, it's just like the YouTube app. If you want to pause it, just tap on the screen to pause it. So that's video streaming. It's really smooth. I mean, this processor can handle it. What else is under this app list button right here? Picture, file management, cam, TV, auxiliary. File management just brings up the file manager again. Pictures, you can browse for pictures using the Quick Pick app. Camera, if you have a front-facing camera or a side camera, you can actually view that here. I don't have any of those installed. If you have a back camera, you can also get that on here as well. And TV, I guess you need to have a USB TV tuner to get this to work. And I guess a video out to plug into the video input. I'm not 100% sure on that. There's just some things that I don't know. This unit, they didn't provide any instructions, so I'm just playing around with this unit, seeing what I know works and what doesn't work. As far as I know, that TVR doesn't work. I don't know what it does. But that's pretty much it. Then you have your task manager here. You can swipe to exit an app or close out an app. You have your Bluetooth status, your Wi-Fi status, you have the clock, you have the brightness adjustment here. I noticed that this one actually works when the headlight is off. I don't know why. It should work when the headlight's on and when this unit's trying to dim. But yeah, I don't know why that is. This night mode right here will just turn the display off. If you want to turn it back on, just tap anywhere on the screen and it'll bring the screen back on. And that's it. Home button brings back to home. You can actually change the picture here by swiping. You can't add any pictures. Well, I hadn't tried yet. Whatever picture you select on here will not retain in the next startup, so it'll just default back to this picture right here. This right here, I'm trying to figure out how to change it because I don't find this really useful. I probably want the radio or maybe like Google Map up here on this half of the screen, but I'm still playing around with that. Let's see, what else am I missing? I think I pretty much explained everything. I didn't explain this RST button right here. That's a reset button, so if you screw this up somehow, I don't know, you can press and hold that button. Well, you'll need to stick like a pin in there. Press it and hold for 5 seconds to reset the unit. Thing is about navigation, especially with Google Map, you will need to have data, so it's recommended that you have Wi-Fi hotspot, a dedicated Wi-Fi hotspot for the car. Right now I have it using my phone's data, but I don't want it to burn through that. So I'm gonna look for a data-only hotspot, maybe a prepaid plan, and just throw it in this car. Other than that, that's pretty much it for this unit. There's nothing much to it. I mean, you got navigation, radio, music, Bluetooth, and video. That's the reason why I got this unit, is because on the base model GS it didn't have navigation, it didn't have backup camera, but now that I do, I'm actually happy. So I won't be selling this car. So if you do have any questions, just drop a comment, or if you're on Club Lexus, you can find me on there. My username on Club Lexus is MX73. Like I said, just drop a comment or ask any questions that you have, and I'll be happy to answer them. And this wraps up the video, the overview video. And thank you for watching. And like I said, if you have any questions, just let me know. Alright, well, peace out.